I pray for favor, pray for mercy, I pray for job. I do marry me, and somebody that me nyami do. Say nyami chasi da me so friend, I want Jimmy so. My brother did you cry, kaya mama told me so. Wadi wo wo, how, mania, career, this one in a bar me so. Nyami ya mabu brokos yo. Na me si wo wo, how, mania, career, this one in a bar me so. Nyami ya mabu brokos yo. Nyami yo, nyami ya watias yo, nyami ya mesum no, no corona. Mesum nyami yo, nyami ya watias yo, nyami ya mesum no, no corona.
Hello and welcome to episode 48 of Afrikanists Assemble, which is the final episode of season 5 and also the final episode of our vodcast. It's been quite a ride these past 5 years. This vodcast was originally made as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic when our project, Recalibrating Afrikanistik, couldn't host any of the in-person events we had planned. We created this vodcast as a less formal place of intellectual exchange on African languages and literatures, inventing a new format that would give everyone the chance to speak for up to 3 minutes while not putting pressure on anyone to do so on any given month. It was an experiment in collectivism, multilingualism, and seriality that we are quite proud of.
Last December, we concluded the season with a prompt to compose a creative contribution, specifically on the topic of learning a language, and people responded quite well to that. Therefore, we decided to do that again, but this time to reflect creatively on the vodcast itself. Here's the prompt we gave them. Please compose a creative contribution reflecting on the last 5 years of this vodcast, your contributions to it or the impact you think it's had. Recite it for us and remember to keep it under 3 minutes in total. Let's see what they did with that.
Afrikanists Assemble. Amụrụ gị afọ 5 gara aga. Onye mụrụ gị? Onye mụrụ gị atụta gị n'ime ọgwa maọbụ ime mkpuke. Onye mụrụ gị tozuru nnukwu oke. O tebara echiche ime tupu ya atụrụ ime gị. Ọmụmụ gị gụrụ ya nnukwu agụụ dịka dịsa bụ nwa agbọghọ topụtarala ma tozuokwa elu dị. Agba gị niile site na nke mbụ ruo na nke ugbu a bụcha uru n'ihi ajụjụ na ntụnye niile nwetara nkụzi na ihe mmụta so ha. I mere ka ụbụrụ ghọrọ onye ọbụla nkọ n'ihi na ma onye ukwu ma onye nta chebara echiche ime ma mee nchọcha katara akata tupu ya aza ajụjụ na agba nke ọbụla. Nke kacha tọọ ọnụ ka mmanụ aṅụ bụ na e nyere onye ọbụla ohere iji asụsụ ya zaa ajụjụ maọbụ mee ntụnye nke ya. Nke a mere ka ọtụtụ asụsụ mba Afrịka ọtụtụ mmadụ na-anụtụbeghị mbụ maọbụ ndị a na-ejibeghị gụpụta ihe bụrụ ihe eji dee ma gụpụta ederede. Kedu ụzọ ọzọ kachasị pụta ìhè n'ịkwalite asụsụ mba Afrịka karịa ohere a e nyere onye ọbụla iji zipụta ma kwalite asụsụ ya? Ekweghị ka ohere nke mgbanahụ m, eji m asụsụ m, asụsụ Igbo m, njirimara m, ihe nketa m, nke a na-asụ n'ọwụwa anyanwụ Naịjirịa were depụta ma gụpụta azịza m niile. Okpe ekele ka m na-ebunye Afrikanists Assemble na ndị niile so na nhazi ya maka ohere ha nyere ewu na ọkụkọ iji were asụsụ ha na isi. Ọ bụghị naanị nke ahụ, ọ bụ eziokwu na emere ya n'ikuku. Ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ bịara bụrụ ezigbo enyi site na mgbanwerịta akara ekwentị, akara WhatsApp na adreesị email. Afrikanists Assemble imere ka mmadụ na ibe ya gbanwerịta echiche n'isiokwu, meekwa ka mmụta na amamihe anyị bawanyekwuo, n'ihi na onye ọbụla kwupụtara nghọta na uche ya n'isiokwu ndị enyi, nke mere na ebe onye echeriri uche nwanne ya echetara ya. Afrikanists Assemble ịbụ kpoo, ikwesịghị ịkwụsị akwụsị maka uru dị gị dịka nkwụ nke ihe niile gị ya n'ahụ bụ sọ uru. Ndewonu.
I wasn't there at the recap Afrikanistik Ensemble from the start. More like it was a great tumble for me into the hub of scholars who stay humble, yet peruse and penetrate every illogical thimble. I can't forget my first encounter with Vie Clarissa and how I was arrested by her charm and charisma. Her profound intellect reminds me of Ignatius Chukwuma, the prof who knocks off every limbo or dilemma. Another guy who strikes me with awe is Brady Blackburn, who doesn't just shake ideas, he could also make them burn. And there's the ever sedulous Oyo Blank. If you mistakenly say Ojo, he gets blank. I dare not make a mistake of mentioning all, for in doing so I would stumble and fall. But it should suffice that I have had an incredible journey. Regardless of highs and lows, here learning tastes like honey. I can't say I've been there throughout the 5 years, neither can I claim to have seen any disappointing tears. But I have seen the murder of ignorance and its fears through the evolving wheels of knowledge shifting gears.
Wannan shiri ya yi tasiri sosai gare mu masu aiki kan harsuna da adabin nahiyar Afirka. Sau da yawa mutum yakan yi aiki a cikin wani bagire mai zurfi ba tare da sanin haƙiƙanin zurfin ba. Mutum ya yi ta iyo yana shiga harshen tsakiyar teku a matsayin aiki na kowace rana. Sai ya fara tunanin shi fa a yanzu ya zama gangaren irin bajimin masanin nan wanda dole kowa ya miƙa masa wuya. Idan aka samu irin wannan shiri yakan kasance tunatarwa kan faɗin ilimi da kuma wasu abubuwa da ake rasawa a wajen masu ilimi. Misali, ɗaya daga cikin masu bayar da gudunmawa ya gano cewar ashe ba iya tunani da harshen sa na asali. Ya gano haka ne a lokacin da ya ƙoƙarin bayar da gudunmawarsa ta harshen da aka haife shi da shi. Tunani yake haɗuwa sai da ya rubuta da harshen Faransanci, harshen Nasara da ya koya a baya kuma yake aiki da shi a yanzu. Daga baya koma ya fassara abin da ya rubuta zuwa harshen sa na asali. Wannan zai kama da abin dariya, amma shine gaskiyar lamari a wurin mafiya masana ilimin harsuna da adabin Afirka, waɗanda idan ba ta hanyar wannan shirin ba, to zai yi wahala su gane irin wannan ƙalubale da suke fuskanta. Saboda haka dai, wannan shiri ya kawo damar gano ƙalubale na kai a matsayin wuraren da za mu iya gyarawa da kanmu a daidai lokacin da muke ƙara ƙaimi wajen inganta koyo da koyar da harsuna da adabin nahiyar Afirka. Tambayoyi da dama da kuma sigar da aka yi su a wannan shiri sun ƙara nuna mana cewar sashen nan na ilimin harsuna da adabi a Afirka har yanzu sabuwar gona ce da ba a fara nomanta ba. Akwai muhimman ɓangarori da har yanzu ba a ma shige su ba. Wannan shiri ya fito da fannoni da dama tun daga ƙirƙire-ƙirƙire zuwa ƙere-ƙere zuwa fasaha, kai har ma dai babban fannin ilimin asali na nahiyar Afirka. Abin da wannan shiri ya nuna shi ne duniya za ta ƙaru matuƙa idan ta mayar da hankali kan ilimin da aka jefar a gefe. Za a samu ci gaba a ɓangaren lafiya, noma da tattalin arziki da zamantakewa. Kai musamman ma a ɓangaren falsafa, inda shirin ya fito da falsafa ta al'ummu da dama a wannan nahiyar. Ni da a matsayina na ɗalibin adabi na samu damar haɗuwa da masana a wannan fanni da dama a wannan shiri. Na koyi hanyoyi da dama na fito da zantukan ilimi da kuma sababbin fannonin ilimi daban-daban. Shiri irin wannan ya haɗa masana wuri ɗaya, yana bayar da damar tattaunawa da kuma fito da mahanga kala-kala akan kowane batu da ake tattaunawa. Idan akwai hali, zan so duk masana a kowane ɓangaren ilimi su samu wannan dama irin wannan, ko da ta gajeren lokaci ce, domin su amfana da wannan shiri na sauya bincike kan harsuna da adabin Afirka.
Is it really true that it's been 5 years, that this journey has actually been 5 years? Wonderful. So what do I think about my contributions and the impact it's made? For one thing, I have shared this link with a lot of people who never knew about the link. I've used it to talk to friends about what others are thinking about African literature and African languages. And I have also had time to look at creative ways of asking questions. We've gone from the smell of a language to what we would do with literature and so many other fantastic things that have come up. And to actually listen to people talk in their local languages about complex issues has gone a long way to show that there's hardly anything that the African language cannot do. We just have to apply our minds to it. In all the 48 episodes, I don't think I ever stepped out of the English comfort zone to speak Yoruba about any of the topics. But that's fair, because I know that with Yoruba, you need to put the subdots and the tone marks for it to make sense. And then you have to translate and find ways of making sense. But it's been quite a ride. It's been quite enjoyable to go along with the vodcast. And I hope that the next 50 episodes will also be impactful. Thank you very much, and let the ship of this creative program have water under its sail all the time. Cheers. Bye.
I have imagined a classroom interaction on African languages and culture that is similar to my village meeting. We have voices from diverse backgrounds, share knowledge, ideas, and experiences, and sometimes offer pieces of advice on a given subject matter. In this space, everybody gets a chance to contribute without overthinking on what to say so as not to be judged. In this meeting, no contribution is considered completely irrelevant as long as it borders on the subject matter. It's a space where people can even repeat what another person has said with so much passion and emphasis until it begins to sound new. In this meeting, eloquent speakers enact and reenact their experiences, thoughts, and convictions. In such meetings, everybody, speakers and non-speakers, actively contribute to the success of the deliberations. But when my thought dwells on such a meeting in a classroom, I often shake my head vigorously. When the idea of recap vodcast was shared, my thoughts were not clear. I'm not even sure that I contributed to the first episode, but I'm sure I was part of the conversation. When I clicked on the link, I didn't know what to expect. But when I clicked on play, I went straight into a space that I could liken to my village meeting. As each voice rises and fades, beyond the words, the still photographs of the speakers, I respond to the heartbeats, the passion, the experiences, the dream shared. Yes, sometimes a topic sounds weird. How does one describe how a language tastes or smells? Yet the questions have been compelling. They have lured me to venture into an untraveled path in my search for more knowledge on Africa, the people, and the language. Recalibrating Afrikanistik vodcast is 5 years already. Yes, I have not spoken regularly in these meetings with people across space and backgrounds, but I have been an active member. As I listen to the voices, as I respond to the words, as I listen to the rhythm of languages I'm not familiar with, I realize that there are yet so much to be shared. Each episode lures me into a deeper walk and a broader vision in my study of Africa, the people, and the culture.
Ọdún márùn-ún ìṣàfihàn ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ àpéjọ àwọn Áfíríkà yìí jẹ́ ọdún márùn-ún tí ó kún fún onírúurú ohùn, èrò àti ojú inú ìwòye Áfíríkà. Mo darapọ̀ ní oṣù Èrèlé ọdún 2024. Mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kópa láti ìpele 30. Ìpele ìkejìdínláàádọ́ta yìí ni ó fi jẹ́ ìkẹrìndínlógún tí mo ti kópa. Ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan ìpele náà fún mi láàyè láti fi ojú inú àti àròkọ mi léde lórí èdè, àṣà àti lítírésọ̀ èdè Yorùbá. Bákan náà mo sì tún ní àǹfààní láti kọ́ nípa àwọn èdè àti ìṣe Áfíríkà mìíràn tí àwọn akópa yòókù ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí. Mo kópa nínú ìpele 30, 31, 33, 24, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 43, 44, 45, 46, àti 47. Ní ìpele 30 mo fi ìrírí mi hàn lórí àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí àwọn èèyàn sọ sí mi tí ó dùn mí wọ àkíyèmí ara. Ní àwọn ìpele mìíràn mo ti ṣe atótónu lórí ẹ̀kọ́ èdè, literature àti àṣà Áfíríkà tó yẹ kí a ṣe àtúnwò rẹ̀. Mo sọ èrò mi nípa bí a ti máa ń rò pé èdè àti agbègbè papọ̀. Mo sì mú àwọn àpẹẹrẹ tó tako èrò yìí wá. Mo ti ṣe àfihàn ewì Áfíríkà tí mo fẹ́ràn jù, ìyẹn oríkì tí ó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára ewì alóhùn Yorùbá. Mo ti fi èrò mi hàn pé bí mo bá ní agbára tàbí ipá láti ṣe iṣẹ́ ìtẹ̀jáde oko ní èdè Áfíríkà kan, n ó yan èdè kan nínú èdè Yorùbá tàbí Naija Pidgin. Mo ṣe atótónu lórí àǹfààní púpọ̀ tí yóò wà nínú ṣíṣe ààyò ògbufọ̀ èdè Áfíríkà kan sí òmíràn tí mo rí pé a kò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ kọbi ara sí ní Áfíríkà. Mo ti kéwì lórí èdè àkọkàntẹni àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ní gbogbo àwọn ìpele tí mo kópa, àwọn ìbéèrè àti àwọn ìdáhùn wọn ti jẹ́ kí n lo ìwòye ojú inú mi dáadáa. Ó fi hàn pé ìṣàfihàn ìgbàhùnsílẹ̀ àgbójọ àwọn Áfíríkà yìí jẹ́ ilé ìṣúra ìmọ̀ Áfíríkà tí ó kún fún ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀, ọgbọ́n àtinúdá àti onírúurú èrò. Mo rí pé èdè Áfíríkà kọjá irinṣẹ́ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ lásán. Ó kún fún ẹ̀kọ́ àbínibí, ìṣàfihàn ìdánimọ̀, èrò àti ọgbọ́n àwọn ìṣẹ̀ṣe wa. Mo rí ìṣàfihàn ìgbàhùnsílẹ̀ àpéjọ àwọn Áfíríkà yìí bíi afárá láàárín Áfíríkà àtijọ́, òní àti ọjọ́ iwájú tí ó ṣàfihàn àwọn alohùn àti àkọsílẹ̀. Inú mi dùn gidi láti jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn akópa nínú ìṣàfihàn ìgbàhùnsílẹ̀ àpéjọ àwọn Áfíríkà yìí fún ọdún 2. Ó tún dọjọ́ bí ọjọ́ rẹ̀, káríra láyọ̀ ká pàdé níre. Èmi Anuoluwapọ Adéwùnmí Adétọ ló kí yín pé ìpàdé wa bí oyin ó dìgbò ṣe.
Hey, this COVID thing, it's inopportune, but it's not going away anytime soon. We can't go traveling our commune, but we also can't stay here on Zoom, so we have to make something. What should we make? Should we do a podcast, some kind of game? Let's do a podcast. Yeah, let's get to it. So, now, who's going to do it? I guess I can. Great, you and Berenika, you take it away. You've got all the freedom, now go get it made. Phew, wow, didn't think I'd be doing this, but here we go. Let's make something exist. So if we're doing this, let's make it robust. Let's not produce something just because we must. Let's not make a podcast that will sooner rust. Let's make something fresh, inviting, and just. So what do we care about? What to prioritize? Let's look to recap. How do we decolonize? Voices from the continent, representation, but how do we overcome tech limitations? We don't need productions. We need voices. Don't give obligations. Give choices. Keep it short now. Smaller files, over networks, unreliable, smaller burden, higher turnout, fresh questions, avoid burnout, many answers. We collect them in a conversation, we connect them. But what about language? It's sort of our thing. Well, you know, podcasts are monolingual. Can we talk in English about African languages? Well, multilingualism actually languishes. Das geht nicht. Yen to me. Es ist eine Yebetimupi. But who can listen to many languages on a podcast? It's a pipe dream, idealistic, not looking at facts, but we're not seeing limits. Those times are long past. We're sticking to our ideals and we're making a vodcast. Subtitles are the secret. And yeah, that's another task. But if the issue was simple, we wouldn't need recap. Now people are watching this what's in front of their eyes. Maybe we make some contributor slides. Oh, that's a lot of design work we'll have to create in, but we have a secret weapon and her name is Caitlin. Afrikanists Assemble, is that really what we're calling it? 6 months of prep work so we won't be overhauling it. We got a small team and a goal of high quality. Gonna need a workflow streamlined with equality. Oh, what about music? Should we have a theme song? How does Africa sound? Wow, that question is wrong. How do we capture the continent's oral diversity? Probably through self-inflicted adversity. Yep, we'll license a different musician every single episode without repetition. Now Nika's on audio, smoothing it nicely. I take it to video. I get to splicing, workshopping questions, tolerating my lame pitch. Have you ever thought about contributing in your language? Posting every month? Serially. Hundreds of emails, seriously. 10-minute voice notes back and forth hilariously, cold emailing invitations, many institutions, many nations, writing how many reports for the Volkswagen Foundation. There goes Nika, here comes Oyo, rule of inertia, here we go, yo. Visual aids, here we show those, it's a vodcast everyone knows. Lower the bar, doors are rather flung. Open up, take it up another rung. Have you ever thought of presenting in your mother tongue, getting faster, getting wiser, subtitling till my eyes burn? It's worth it, not just hearing lexemes of a colonizer. EP37 is a revolution. Someone made a resolution. We receive more African language than English contributions. Here on the mountain, here in retrospect, let me bow low, let me genuflect. You rose up and spoke up, contributed in your dialect. This was a vodcast, yes, a platform that sure we may have brainstormed, but you, through your thoughts and your words, somehow transform what it is what we made it. Together 5 years unabated, what I see is a field Afrikanistik recalibrated.
When I joined Afrikanists Assemble earlier this year, I felt a little like a late traveler stepping onto a train already full of stories. But even from the doorway, I could hear the conversations, alive, sharp, generous, and I knew I wanted to bring my own voice into this circle, even if my voice sounded a bit different. 我来到这个项目算是很晚，但我始终觉得，只要愿意开口，晚一点也是一种抵达。在过去的这些日子里，我带着中文，带着我的思考，也带着从云南一路走来的经历，悄悄地加入了这场长达5年的对话。第一次用开源火录音的时候，我心中还是有些紧张的。开源火也可以放到非洲研究的节目里面的。后来我意识到，只要声音是真心的，这就有路可走。Kuungana na Afrikanists Assemble kumenifunza kusikiliza kwa makini, kuzungumza kwa unyenyekevu na kutembea katika nafasi kati ya lugha, yani Kichina, lahaja yangu ya Kaiyuan, Kiingereza, Kiswahili na nyingine za Kiafrika. Ni kama daraja dogo linalounganisha dunia nzima. Nawashukuru kwa kunikaribisha, hata kama mimi nilifika mwishoni mwa safari hii ya miaka 5. Sauti za hapa zimekuwa mwanga, mwaliko na kumbukumbu ya umoja wa fikra. Sasa tunapofunga sura hii ya mwisho, natumai safari za lugha zitaendelea. Kati ya mabara, kati ya historia, kati ya mioyo yetu. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza. Huu ni mwisho wa kipindi, lakini si mwisho wa safari ya sauti. Na kabla sijasema kwa heri, nataka kutumia sentensi kutoka filamu ninayoipenda sana, The Truman Show, kama hitimisho yangu. In case I don't say it, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Ejengboke odo, ejengboke odo, ejengboke odo, ejengboke odo. Ibi orida ni sila agbe o ejengboke odo, ejengboke odo, ejengboke odo, ejengboke odo, ejengboke odo. Ibi orida ni sila agbe o ejengboke odo. What a beautiful song. Each time I remember the song, it makes me think of displacement, be it forced or voluntary, movement from one's familiar space to a far distance away from home. However, in these places, we couldn't forget our language. Regardless of the exposure, regardless of our engagement in these places, we still think like a Yoruba child. We still eat like a Yoruba child. We still interact with people in our Yoruba
culture. And when we even speak English or we speak other languages, we speak them as though we are speaking our mother tongues. Our languages are part of who we are. They are our identity. And it excites me a lot if I'm in a place, especially an unfamiliar place, and I could just spot a Yoruba girl or boy, man or woman. I'm attracted to this one. And I'll quickly say hello in Yoruba. And lucky me, I receive a response in Yoruba. Oh, how quickly I forget how I'm dressed. I start speaking Yoruba language with all joy, with all excitement. Omoniwa soja. Yoruba language is so sweet. It's part of me. It's part of me that cannot be taken away from me. It's who I am. In a strange land, which I refer to as Okeodo, I still think in Yoruba. I eat, permit me to say in Yoruba. Even when I laugh, I laugh in Yoruba. What a beautiful memory of who I am, a Yoruba girl, proudly Yoruba child.
Those are all the contributions we received this month. What do you think of the way they encapsulated the last 5 seasons of the vodcast? Has Afrikanists Assemble impacted you in any particular way? We would love to hear about that in the comments below.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this final episode of Afrikanists Assemble, and also thank you to all the subscribers and listeners who have been following along in this journey. Fortunately, this isn't truly the end. This vodcast is going to serve as a springboard and inspiration for another initiative Recalibrating Afrikanistic is undertaking, with Oyo and I operating behind the scenes. Until you find us there, keep asking new questions, keep crafting in your language, and keep envisioning the future you'd like for African languages and literatures.
Me, I was lonely on my journey. No be rasta, but now I be singing Kweni. Me, I was lonely on my journey. Para wa shame kwa ya kasamba me fahene. Ami trapo kwa kwanu wa begi fada mosi. No be rasta, but now I be singing Kweni. Yamu pani pressure, tebi rana pressure. Kiye pia banti ya bebe fiye ni mu plaster. Ayasa kuwebi yenya jume nyomu yesa. Naso mi ya trapa sise mi be mamu freestyle. Yamu pani pressure, tebi rana pressure. Kiye pia banti ya bebe fiye ni mu plaster. Ayasa kuwebi yenya jume nyomu yesa. Naso mi ya trapa sise mi be mamu freestyle. Okay.